Welcome to Gotham City, where you'll find secrets aplenty.
But that's impossible.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Easter eggs in Batman movies. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at the coolest hidden gems in Batman films. Since some of these Easter eggs contain key plot details, a spoiler alert is in order. Number 10. The Joker's final appearance, The Dark Knight Rises.
See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
Sadly, the Joker didn't appear in the flesh, but as a testament to his enduring presence in Gotham, Christopher Nolan apparently snuck in 2 subtle nods to the Clown Prince of Crime in The Dark Knight Rises. In one scene, a magazine can be seen lying on a chair near Bruce Wayne, and from the viewer's limited perspective, the face on the cover appears to be that of the Joker.
Mr. Wayne's will was not amended to reflect his more modest estate.
Later, during the unveiling of the statue of Batman, the overhead shot of the ceremony reveals a distinctly Jokerish smiley face. Even in his absence, the Joker still managed to leave his mark behind.
Why so serious?
Number 9. Shark Repellent Bat Spray, the Lego Batman movie.
Hand me down the Shark Repellent Bat Spray!
Over his decades-spanning crime-fighting career, the Caped Crusader has amassed quite the collection of gadgets, many of which leave much to be desired in terms of originality, credibility, practicality, and, all-around common sense. But even against steep competition, the Shark Repellent Bat Spray, as seen in the 1966 Batman film based on the 1960s TV series, remains arguably the most ridiculed tool in Batman's arsenal.
Shark repellent?
Actually, you can't touch that.
Until 2017, that is. In the Lego Batman movie, the Shark Repellent received its moment of redemption, when, in a tongue-in-cheek nod to the colorful history of The Dark Knight, it was used to take down the most legendary shark in cinematic history, Jaws.
It wasn't useless after all.
Number 8. The 1989 Batmobile, the Lego Batman movie.
To the Batmobile.
Hot diggity dog!
The Lego Batman movie is basically one glorious celebration of all things Batman, from his most grim and gritty moments to, as we just saw, his most absurdly silly.
We're just gonna gently ease out of here. And here we go.
Paying homage to the other big screen Batman films that preceded it, the Lego Batman movie Batcave features a jaw-dropping collection of Batmobiles. We could easily go full nerdgasm over any of them, but the appearance of the classic 1989 Tim Burton Batmobile arguably resonates most. How can you not get excited seeing the Batmobile from the first live-action film to take the character seriously, so lovingly recreated out of Lego nearly 3 decades later? Number 7. The Batphone, The Dark Knight Rises.
What's your name, son?
Blake, sir.
From a film like Lego Batman, we expect Easter egg throwbacks to the Batman series of the 1960s. In the world of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, though, not really. And yet, a bright red telephone can be seen in the scene where John Blake, whose middle name is Robin, meets Bruce Wayne for the first time. It looks like it was pulled straight from the world inhabited by Adam West and Burt Ward's dynamic duo.
Help!
Naturalism.
That's not all, though. Sitting right beside it is a bronze bust. Like the one they used to access the cave. Like we said before, nothing is accidental when Nolan is at the helm.
Might be time to get some fresh air, start paying attention to the details.
Number 6. Bob Kane's paper cameo, Batman.
This is Batman without looking, which isn't too bad, come to think of it.
If it weren't for artist Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger, well, Superman and Spider-Man would have significantly less competition for the title of world's most popular superhero. A big supporter of the Batman films from the very beginning, Bob Kane was actually supposed to have a cameo in Tim Burton's 1989 Batman, but sadly he was unable to make it on the day he was scheduled to shoot. Nonetheless, a drawing of his, including his trademark signature, made the final cut of the film in his place. Although he himself never appeared in a Bat flick, his wife, Elizabeth Sanders, played the role of Gossip Gertie in later installments.
You must be new in town. In Gotham City, Batman and Robin protect us, even from plants and flowers.
Number 5. A Tale of Two Cities, The Dark Knight Rises.
I see a beautiful city and a brilliant people.
rising from this abyss.
Director Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy may exist in the genre of comic book movies, but his cinematic take on Batman tends to be fairly high-concept stuff. In the third and final installment, the Nolan brothers, along with David S. Goyer, took inspiration from the Charles Dickens classic A Tale of Two Cities.
It is a far, far better rest I go to than I have ever known.
They did more than borrow story elements, however. In one scene, Tom Hardy's Bane can be seen twirling a piece of twine, a direct reference to Dickens' Madame Defarge and her knitting. And later, when giving Bruce Wayne's eulogy, Commissioner Gordon actually reads directly from the novel.
It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known.
Number 4, hinting at other villains from Rogue's Gallery, the Dark Knight franchise.
What the hell is going on?
In the relatively realistic Nolanverse, we met grounded versions of classic Batman villains. Of course, if you're familiar with Batman's gallery of rogues from the comics, you know that a good number of them simply don't fit into the world Nolan has created, regardless of how much tweaking you do. A few such characters, however, do seem to have received knowing winks in The Dark Knight Rises.
They asked me if he saw any giant alligators.
Killer Croc gets a nod with the giant alligators rumor, while a comment on cryo-sleep serves as an allusion to Mr. Freeze.
What brings you out of cryo-sleep, Mr. Wayne?
In The Dark Knight, we even got a nice little teaser that Bruce Wayne could tangle with a cat in the future.
Should do fine against cats.
And who could forget Mr. Zsasz from Batman Begins?
In my opinion, Mr. Zsasz is as much a danger to himself as to others.
Number 3, the man behind Clayface, The Dark Knight Rises.
Where does he find these guys?
While those secondary and off-camera villains all made for satisfying Easter eggs, it's the inclusion of John Daggett in The Dark Knight Rises that proves most tantalizing. Clearly inspired by Roland Daggett from the animated series, Daggett himself is nothing more than a corrupt business rival of Bruce Wayne's, willing to get involved with villains to get ahead. So he's not exactly an A-list villain by anyone's standards.
He can't get your money back, I can.
But in the animated series, Daggett was responsible for creating Clayface, the B-list actor turned shape-shifting criminal and villain extraordinaire.
What in the name of heaven?
Back off!
While Daggett makes no reference to his creation within the Nolanverse, we can't help but wonder, what's he been up to off-screen? Any little science experiments?
Sound a little too good to be true.
You're lying!
Number 2, the Joker's clown mask, The Dark Knight.
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Nolan and company surprised us again with yet another reference to the Bat-2-seeing Batman series of the 1960s. Although this time, it's with a truly obscure reference that only the most serious of Batman fans would have been likely to notice. In the opening bank heist scene from The Dark Knight, all of the robbers are wearing clown masks, but the one worn by the Joker himself has a real history to it. You see, back in 1966, in the 5th episode of the series, Cesar Romero's Joker dressed up as another clown in order to take control of a theater performance of Pagliacci. And these two masks bear an undeniable resemblance.
It's my mother-in-law.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
She was wearing someone else's fingerprints. She's good.
Number 1, a treasure trove of villain costumes, Batman and Robin. Hey, Batman and Robin might be the least popular modern Batman film, but we believe in giving credit where credit is due, and this was one good Easter egg. When henchman Bane is tasked with fetching Mr. Freeze's cryogenic suit, he has to break into the appropriately titled criminal property locker in Arkham Asylum. Had he taken time to snag a few more items, however, he could have made a killing online. In that room, for all to see, are the Riddler and Two-Face's respective costumes. But that's not all. In the scene, we also see items that suggested other villains, including the Toyman and the Clock King.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.